Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports back in the video today, and today the Houston Astros lose to the New York Yankees 4-3. Tough loss for the Astros today as the Astros get swept. Astros was, the last time they started off 0-3 to season was like Altuve's second or third season, I think, and I don't even want to know the last time the Astros started off 0-4. I know those that were panicking after the first loss of this series. So I don't even want to know and don't want to imagine some stupid Astros fans on X going crazy about this, us being swept. But to be honest, I'm perfectly fine. I'm chill about it because, I'm upset that this is the way they start off the season. That's the only really part that upsets me, to think about it. It's a little upsetting that that's the way you start off the year. You obviously always want to get off to a great start every season, right? But I also know that the Astros have always been killed by the Yankees in regular season matchups. It's always happened. I've been watching these two teams head off against each other since 2019, at least in the regular season. I've been watching the Astros since 2017 when I started watching sports at like 9 or 8 years old, and started off by watching with the Rockets, then started watching the Astros, and then started watching all sports and all teams, but started off by watching the Rockets and the Astros. The Yankees have always killed the Astros in the regular season, but the Astros have always taken them down in the postseason. Now, I will say, this Yankees team, this team that they have, I know it's only 4 games in, but this is, I think, the scariest Yankees team that they've had. You can look at their teams that have made it far, that have given the Astros a threat. 2007, you look at the team that the Astros have, the teams that the Astros have beat in the postseason. 2017, 2019, 2022. This is one of the best Yankees teams I've seen play baseball since I've been watching baseball. This is one of the best Yankees teams I've seen. I know it's 4 games in, but they play really good. And they're not even fully healthy. They're without Garrett Cole as well. That's also something to note. But not only do the Astros not play well against the New York Yankees in the regular season, they got swept by the Yankees last year. Looked terrible at home against the Yankees. I think there was a series in New York. They lost the series 2-3. So they lost 2 out of the 3 games in New York. So last year, I believe the final record against New York in those 2 series against the Yankees last year, the Astros win. I believe it was 1-5 against the Yankees last year. So they've always struggled against the Yankees in the regular season, and they've always been able to take them down in the postseason. But also, they've always struggled to start off the seasons as well. Since 2020, at least, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, the last 4 seasons, in the first 20 games of the regular season for the Houston Astros, they haven't had a 500 or better than 500 record in the first 20 games. The best record the Astros have had in those 4 seasons through 20 games is 9-11. The Astros have always been able to get it going at the end of April or beginning of May, and that's when you start to see them, get it together and win ball games, like they should be. And I really think the first 20 games you might see the Astros struggle just like we've seen them do in the last couple seasons. So I really wouldn't be surprised if the first couple weeks of the season is definitely a little bit of a struggle, especially being without some starters like Justin Verlander and Jose Urquidy. But yeah, so I'm excited to see Ronald Blanco on the mound tomorrow for the Astros against the Blue Jays. And, another thing is, I think a big thing about this series, the struggles, is having a guy like Yordan Alvarez who's so deadly for you, struggling the way he did in this series. He went over 5 today. He had a 118 batting average in the series. So when you have a guy like that who's so pivotal to the team and so big for the team struggle, it definitely will take a toll on you. But the Astros, honestly, I know this was a loss, but they played well in this game. They really did, and they fought back. They were down 3-1 in this game. They fought back. I think the problem was in this game, they left too many runners on. They left runners on the corner to finish the game, with Yordan Alvarez at the plate, and both Yordan and Tucker had chances at the end of the game. So with the runners on the corners, they had bases loaded. Jeremy Pena. There were a couple other opportunities after they tied the game up with runners in scoring position or just runners on base, and they couldn't get the job done. They did a great job in the sixth inning rallying back and getting multiple runners on, but after that it just was a struggle today for the Astros. 4-3 is final score. 12 hits for the Astros, 10 for the Yankees, 1 error for the Yankees, 0 for the Astros. Win goes to Birdie, not John Birdie, who is definitely one of the new additions for the New York Yankees. They just traded for him before opening day. He was not expected to play because Anthony Volpe was a late scratch in this game. Jose Altuve had an at bat in the bottom of the ninth. Altuve hit a hard hit ball in the bottom of the ninth, but John Birdie made an awesome play at third base, stopping the ball, which would have been probably a game-winning base hit for Altuve. Because Pena would have easily scored, and sorry, not Pena, Dubon. Pena would have easily scored, and Altuve would have potentially. Sorry, Pena would have scored, and Dubon would have had a chance to score potentially for the Astros, and could have been a game-winning hit for Altuve, but was stopped by John Birdie, and then after John Birdie stopped it, he went to third base, got Pena out, and then Altuve was safe at first, and the Astros had Dubon at second and Altuve at first. So that was a little bit hard to describe. But both birdies for the New York Yankees were a big part of this win. Now, I believe it's Nick Birdie. He's 1-0. He pitched two-thirds of an inning, which was in the eighth inning. He gave up 0 hits, 0 runs, 1 strikeout, 0 walks. Loss goes to Josh Hader. I'm not going to be mad about Josh Hader's performance because I thought he had a good outing. He's 0-1. Pitched to the ninth, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 2 strikeouts. He has 6 strikeouts in 3 innings pitched in this series. Now, he gave up 2 singles. I mean, it's not a big deal. He gave up 2 singles. One of the singles was one of the singles that he gave up was to Juan Soto. So, two former teammates right there. So I'm not mad at all about Josh Hader getting this loss. I thought that out of everybody from the bullpen in the previous games, his two other outings, he did not struggle at all. Didn't give up any hits. Had 4 strikeouts. He had 6 strikeouts in 3 innings. Only gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run. So I really liked what we saw from Josh Hader in his first series. Just a tough situation that he didn't have any opportunities to close any ball games. His first 2 outings, the Astros were trailing. In his second outing, his first 2 outings, the Astros were trailing. His third outing, he came in with the game tied. Save goes to Holmes, his third save of the series. He gets 3 out of the 4 saves. So although there was not a save in the what was that that was the second game, because the final score was like 8-2 or something like that. So it was a blowout. So he had all the saves for the Yankees in this series. Pitched the ninth, gave it 2 hits, 0 runs, 0 strikeouts, 0 walks. Scoring summary: Trevino in the second inning reached on an infield single to first. Stanton scored. It's 1-0. Third inning, Jose Altuve homers to left, 341 feet. It's 1-1. Fourth inning, Birdie single to right. Rizzo scored. It's 2-1. Fifth inning, Judge hits that sacrifice fly to center. Torres scored. It's 3-1. Sixth inning, the Astros make a rally. Kyle Tucker doubles to right. Altuve scored. That was after Altuve double, 3-2. Then Diaz hits a RBI single to center. Tucker scored. It's 3-3. And after Diaz hit a single, we saw John Singleton get a single, and then we saw Chas McCormick get an infield single. Then Pena came up with the bases loaded and grounded out. Then Soto in the ninth hits a single to left. Torres scored. It's 4-3. All right, hitters for the Astros. Jose Altuve went 2 for 4, hit a home run in the third, double to left in the sixth, a seventh inning walk, and then he had a fielder's choice in the ninth. What I was talking about with Birdie making the big play. So Dubon to second, and then Pena out at third. Yordan Alvarez was 0 for 5 today. He flied out a couple times, 3 times. he flat out to center in the third. That ball nearly went out. The ninth, just got a little bit under on him and was just a little bit short of potentially hitting the wall for a double. Judge was there to make the play for the Yankees. So Yordan, tough series. It went 0 for 5. But, I mean, also you look at the other side with Aaron Judge. We can talk about how Yordan Alvarez struggled, but Yordan Alvarez was not the only big man power hitter in this series to struggle. Aaron Judge was terrible in this series as well for the Yankees. He went 0 for 4 today and had a 125 batting average in the series. The Yankees won this series due to guys like Juan Soto and Anthony Rizzo and Stanton and Verdugo and also Cabrera, who were outstanding in this series. Anthony Volpe, who didn't play today but was great in the other games for the Yankees. Judge, not a lot of contribution. And I mean, obviously, he had a sac fly in this game. It would have gone to extras without that sac fly, but it was off series for him. It was an off series for Yordan. Both guys did struggle in this series. Kyle Tucker went 2 for 4 today. His best game of the series. He struck out in the first, but then in the fourth, he singled to left. 6, he doubled to right. Altuve scored RBI, his first RBI of the season. I can't believe it took him 3 games to get an RBI. I was surprised about that. And then he walked in the 7th, and that was it. Then he lined out to end the game in the 9th. Bregman went 0 for 4 today. Tough day for Breggy, though. Yanner Diaz had a great day, went 2 for 4, single to left in the 2nd, singled to center to score Tucker in the 6th, and that was it for Yanner. John Singleton, not a bad day, especially for him. He went 1 for 3, struck out his first 2 at-bats, and then in the 6th, he singled to left, Diaz to second. But then he had a pinch. In the 8th, there was a pinch hitter for him. That was Jose Abreu, who had the day off because his hand was hurting, but was good enough to come on in the 8th and pinch hit for Singleton. He struck out swinging, so maybe they should have kept Singleton in that situation. Abreu is struggling massively right now. Chas McCormick went 1 for 4 today at left field. Reach on an infield single to shortstop was a really nice hit by Chas in the 6th, and that was it for Chas today. Jeremy was probably one of the best hitters of the day. I thought Altuve and Tucker were great, but Jeremy was really good. Went 3 for 4, the only 3-hit player in the lineup. You had guys that got 2 hits like Diaz and Tucker and Altuve, but Jeremy was the only guy with 3 hits in the lineup. Single to left in the 3rd, single to right in the 5th, and a single to right in the 9th, which started a little bit of a rally for the Astros in that 9th inning, but just was too short. Jake Myers was at center field today, and he hasn't had a hit since his home run in the first game of this series. And so, that continued. But he's 0 for 3, and that was it for Jake. He got a pinch hit. Victor Caratini pinch hit would pinch hit for Jake Myers in the 9th, and just like how we saw Jose Abreu pinch hit. Now the difference is Victor Caratini hits a single to right, Pena to second, and that would be it for Caratini today. Nice at bat. He had a nice day yesterday, and he had a hit, and now that was it. Dubon was the pinch runner for Caratini for some speed, and that was it for Caratini and Dubon. His pitching, J.P. France went 5 innings and 2/3 of the 6, gave it 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 94 pitches. Not bad at all, especially with his first outing. Definitely was, didn't get the normal time that we would see a starting pitcher have in spring. Started off spring training injured, so I thought for someone who didn't get a lot of, innings or work in spring training and, kind of had to, bounce back at the end and try to get some extra work in to the point where he was starting for the Space City Cowboys in AAA against the Astros, he wasn't bad at all. And also, he's having a baby in any day now, so I'm sure he's stressed off the field as well. Taylor Scott would come in and pitch the last out of the 6th inning and the first 2 outs of the 7th inning. He was not bad at all. He was not good the other day. I think that was yesterday or the day before. That was either Sunday or I think that was Saturday. That was Friday that Taylor Scott was really bad. He gave up 1 walk today but had 3 strikeouts. So a bounce back for Taylor Scott. We saw him 3 times in this series. He was great on Thursday. He was terrible on Friday, and he was good on Sunday. Then Brian Abreu came on, and he was a lot better than what we saw from yesterday. Brian Abreu would end up pitching the last out of the seventh, and then he would pitch the eighth, giving up 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. Josh Hader, already talked about what he did. So this was a tough series for the Astros, but hopefully they can bounce back facing off the Blue Jays tomorrow. I think it's going to be a much better series for the team, but also I think more importantly, I think it's going to be a much better series for the big man, Yordan Alvarez. I see a big series coming for him after the struggles against the Yankees. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section, and peace out. Go Astros.